Greetings dear viewer and welcome to Elimu TV where you watch and learn. I am a teacher, Madam Christine Okoth, taking you today through the 10th lesson of Biology Form 2, and today we're going to learn about circulation of the blood in the heart. Welcome. So this is a breakdown of what you're going to learn today, or rather what you're going to do today in this lesson. So first we'll start by reviewing the lesson and reviewing the assignment. Then today we're going to learn about the circulation of blood in the heart, and lastly I'm going to give you an assignment. So starting with the assignment of last time. So what are some of the observable features of the heart? So last time we were talking about the structure of the heart and some of the things that make up the structure of the heart. So I hope you got this question right. So let us go through it. So the things that you can observe when you're looking at the human heart, we have the 4 chambers. The heart is divided into the 4 chambers. We have the upper part, which you call the auricles or the atrium, and you have the lower part, which you call the ventricles. So on the upper part you have the right atrium, the left atrium. Then the lower chambers we have the right ventricle and the left ventricle. Then another thing that can be observed, we have a septum. Septum is that part that divides, it's a wall that divides the right side of the heart and the left side of the heart. The right side of the heart contains deoxygenated blood, while the left side of the heart contains oxygenated blood. So the purpose of septum is to prevent the mixing of this deoxygenated blood and oxygenated blood. Then we have the valves. We have bicuspid valves, we have tricuspid valve and semilunar valves. So the function of the valves is to prevent the backflow of blood from where they have come from. Then we have the thin walls of the auricles compared to the ventricles. This is because the auricles receive blood, whereas the ventricles, they pump blood away from the heart. So the thick walls will help these ventricles to pump blood to a higher level. Then the fifth thing is we notice, we can observe in the structure of the heart, are the thick walls of the left ventricle and the thin walls of the right ventricle. So the left ventricle, it pumps blood away from the heart and to other parts of the body. So the thick walls will help it to push blood to a further levels. Then we have the coronary arteries, which are on the surface of the heart. So they are the ones that supply the heart with the blood. So there are very many things that you can observe on the heart, but these are just a few. So today we're going to talk about the circulation, how the blood circulates within the structure of the heart. So where does it start? It starts from the right auricle. So the right auricle receives blood which is coming from the body tissues through the vena cava. So the first part, the part which is shaded blue, so that is where we have the superior vena cava. Then we have the right auricle that is receiving blood. Remember, this blood is deoxygenated, so it is very rich in carbon dioxide. Therefore, it appears to be dull red in color. So from the right auricle, it then pumps the blood into the right ventricle via a valve we call the tricuspid valve. So that tricuspid valve, it prevents the backflow of blood to the right auricle. So we start from the right auricle, it goes to the right ventricle via tricuspid valve. So at this point we are at the right ventricle. So the right ventricle, when it's full, the tricuspid valve closes so that there can be no flow of blood back to the right auricle. So it will pump blood, the right ventricle will pump blood into the pulmonary artery. So the pulmonary artery, it carries the blood to the lungs, whereby it is oxygenated, or we say it is purified. So after that blood has been oxygenated, the appearance will change. When it was deoxygenated, it was dull red in color. Now that it has been purified, or rather it has been oxygenated, it will be bright red in color. So from the artery, it goes to the left auricle via the pulmonary vein. So from the lungs, it has been purified, it goes to the left auricle via a vein we call the pulmonary vein. So this portion of the circulation that sends the blood to the lungs from the heart and back is what we call pulmonary circulation, because it involves the pulmonary vein and the pulmonary artery. Because when the right ventricle is sending blood to the lungs, it is via an artery we call the pulmonary artery. Then from the lungs, after purification, back to the heart via another vein called also pulmonary. So this is what we call a pulmonary circulation. So the blood has been pumped from the lungs to the left auricle. So when this left auricle is filled up, it pumps the blood into the left ventricle via bicuspid valve. So there is bicuspid valve on the left side of the heart, and there is tricuspid valve on the right side of the heart. And this one, it prevents the backflow of blood to the left auricle. So the blood leaves the left ventricle through the outer. So when blood has been pumped and it's full, the left ventricle is full, it will pump the blood to the aorta. So there are semilunar valves which are located there, which they open into the aorta and prevents the backflow of blood. And the function now of the aorta will be to pump blood to all parts of the body. Now there's a difference between this blood that is being pumped to all parts of the body and the blood which was coming inside through the vena cava. So the difference is this blood that is going to be circulated through all the parts of the body, it is oxygenated, and the blood which was coming from the vena cava, it is deoxygenated. So the main purpose of the lungs is to purify this blood so that it can leave the heart as a purified blood so that it can be circulated to all parts of the body via the aorta. So another observable features that we notice when we look at the ventricles, that is the lower chamber of the heart. You can notice that the left ventricle walls are thicker than the right ventricle's wall. This is in order to develop a high pressure to pump blood to all parts of the body. Remember, from the left ventricle is where the blood will be pumped to the aorta, to all parts of the body. So there needs to be a lot of pressure so that it can push this blood to all parts of the body. So that is the reason why the walls of the left ventricles are thicker than the walls of the right ventricle. So in the circulation of blood, we have two types of circulation. We've talked about the pulmonary circulation. That is the blood which is flowing to the lungs, then from the lungs back to the heart, because this blood is going to the lungs via pulmonary artery. Then from the lungs, after it has been purified, it goes back to the heart via pulmonary vein. So this is what we call pulmonary circulation. Now there's other type of circulation which we call systemic circulation. So this is the circulation of the blood from the heart to the tissues and back. Then still on the circulation of the heart, we have what we call a cardiac cycle. So we have two phases of the cardiac cycle. We have the systolic and the diastolic. So in the systolic phase, the heart, when the heart is contracting, the blood pressure is rising. Therefore, the blood moves out along those vessels. Then in diastolic, it's the opposite of systolic. So this one, the heart was contracting, so here the heart will be relaxing. And when the heart is relaxing, it means that the blood pressure will be falling and the blood will be filling the heart. So systolic cycle is just the opposite of diastolic cycle. So I'll introduce a video that will help us to understand more about circulation of the blood in the heart. So enjoy this video.
Hi there! Can you guess what I am? I'll give you a hint. I have a very important job inside your body, and your heart helps me to do my job. I'm a red blood cell. My job is so important that you'll thank me for it later. But I can't take all the credit. Without your heart, I couldn't do a thing. You see, I'm like a little delivery truck in your body. I pick up and drop things off all the time. I ride the highways of something called the circulatory system. I like to call it the circle system because I keep going in circles. This system is made of your heart and blood vessels that carry your blood to different areas of your body. Your blood vessels are like tiny tunnels that run all through your body. They are made up of arteries that take oxygen to places in your body and veins that take carbon dioxide from your body to your lungs. This is my highway. But I can't move by myself. I move within your blood when it moves. How does your blood move, you ask? Why, your heart pumps it. Let me show you how. Your heart is the most important muscle in your body. It moves by itself, and even though you can hardly feel it, it keeps moving all the time, even when you are sleeping. Want to feel your heart move? Sit very still and put your hand on your chest. If you're running hard or exercising, you might find it easier to feel. When your heart moves, it's called a heartbeat. Your heart makes at least 100,000 heartbeats every day. When your heart beats, it pulls blood into it and pushes it out again. This helps the blood to move fast enough to go through your whole body and back. And it helps me to pick up my deliveries and take them to different places in your body. I'm not alone in there. There are lots of red blood cells just like me doing the same thing in your body all the time, even now while I'm talking to you. Here's me at the start of my little journey. I just got back from dropping off some things to some places in your body. I need to get some more speed to do more deliveries, so I ride your bloodstream into your heart. Going through the heart is easy because the heart has special rooms and doors that only open one way. Right now, I am entering the right side of the heart. I go through the first room called the right atrium, through the first door called the tricuspid valve, and through the second room called the right ventricle, and through the second door called the pulmonary valve. The heartbeat causes the heart to squeeze the blood in these rooms into the next area. It pushes the blood through it and into the arteries like tunnels that lead to other parts of the body. So now I am moving a little faster because the heart has given me a push. Now I need to go and pick up the things I need to deliver. My first stop is to the lungs. I need to pick up a little oxygen molecule to take to some place in the body. Everybody needs oxygen. Our lungs bring it into our body, and then I pick it up and take it to where it's needed. It seems like it would be tricky to pick up the oxygen, but the lungs really help me with that job. You see, here in the body, we all work together and cooperate to keep everything running smoothly. When I get to the lungs, I'm not really this big, it's just easier to see me this way. And I get really close to the sides of my little tunnel. The oxygen that is sort of floating out of the walls nearby just jumps onto me for the ride. When enough of it has hopped on and I can't hold anymore, then I'm ready to go back to the heart for another push. Know what? This all happened so fast that it's even faster than blinking. So now, this time, I need to go on the other side of the heart. This side is for all of us red blood cells that are carrying oxygen. The heart pushes us a little farther this time because some of us have a very long trip. I go in through the first room called the left atrium, through the mitral valve doorway, and into the left ventricle room to get my big push. Then out I go and on my journey. I like my job because I get to travel. Here I am making a delivery in the foot area. All I have to do is draw near to the tunnel wall and the oxygen will just jump out of my truck and squeeze out of the tunnel. It's pretty neat to watch. While this is happening, I also make another pickup. Carbon dioxide needs to be taken up to the lungs so that the body can get rid of it by breathing out. And I'm just the cell to do it. I grab some and off I go again. Going back up to the heart is a little tricky because I need to ride up. It's kind of like climbing a hill. Because of this, the veins have little trapdoors called valves that only open one way. This stops me from floating in the wrong direction. So I keep going up and up as the heart keeps beating and pushing the bloodstream along. Eventually, I get back to the heart again where I get ready to drop off the carbon dioxide in the lungs and get a good push to get me going on another pickup. So that's my job. What do you think? Pretty important, isn't it? The heart really helps me to do my job well.
So I hope you have learned something more on the circulation of the blood. So this marks the end of our lesson, and I'm going to leave you with assignment. Question number 1, what is the difference between pulmonary and systemic circulation? Question number 2, what happens to the muscles during systole and diastole cycle? So thank you much for watching. If you have any questions, any clarification, any feedback, hit our Facebook page, Elimu TV. Our Twitter handle is @elimu_ke, and our SMS line is 22518. I have been your teacher, Madam Christine Okoth, and thank you for staying tuned to Elimu TV.